This is the piece that we had to find. We had to go into big city of Calgary for. Check that out. When I see this, I just think nightmares. Look at those teeth. Those aren't teeth, actually. Those are blower things. Blows the crop into the cutting bar that's hiding behind the grass that Glenn will expose.
So when we parked this straight header years ago, I was pretty sure we were maybe never going to use it again, but there's no reason why it shouldn't go again. It was working when we put it away, so we'll just have to try and get everything broke loose. This is a second fan. We had to replace the fan on this thing once because the other one, they're just kind of a fiberglass plastic thing. The other one grenaded, so this is a replacement one. That's really the only thing that might be the bugaboo, is if the fan happens to grenade on us. But I got some new belts to go on there, and we'll just get everything oiled up. I got a new hose to stick on this end here, and it's pretty simple. The blower just blows air in down this thing that acts just like a big manifold, and it just kind of gently blows the barley or whatever crop we had. We were combining peas with it last time. We still got lifter fingers on there. It just kind of blows it towards the cutting bar, and then the auger augers it into the middle. So it's a pretty simple unit. It's big, but it's fairly simple mechanically. We did rob some of these rubber parts off of here because they're the same on the other header. So I bought some new ones, so we'll replace those rubber ones. And I think the fingers are in pretty good shape there. Maybe even in better shape than on the other header. So I know it kind of looks crappy right now, but get it cleaned up and shined up and get everything turning, and we'll have a better idea of what we're dealing with here. So whenever I work on the combine and I do something to it, I always try and make a point of turning everything over by hand with a wrench. And if I can't turn it over by hand with a wrench, then something's not right and it needs to be fixed before you put power on it. So I just stuck the cylinder wrench on here, and you can see that nothing's seized. Blades are moving a little bit there. I'll take the air hose there and get the dirt blown out of there, and it's not seized up, so I think we can get that going. So the knife is driven through a wobble box at the bottom. The rotary motion comes from the combine through these belts down to here, and this thing here is called a wobble box, and it's got a bunch of really crazy parts in it that takes this rotary motion round and round and converts it into retrolinear motion back and forth. And just check the fluid on that. I've had to rebuild the one on our older haybine a couple times, and it's not outside of impossible, but it's not something we want to get in on one of these. So we'll pull the plug and make sure there's some oil in it, and see if things will turn. So it's turned over a few times by hand. It seems to be turning, for as big as it is, it turns pretty good. So I'm just going to start the machine and run it in a little bit, just at slow speed. I've lubed up the knives with a little bit of oil, and we'll see if anything flies off here. Hopefully not. So it's going to be pretty noisy. A bunch of alarms are going to go off, but that's just because we're not bringing it up to speed. want to be careful touching stuff because if something's running hot, it can burn your hands just so quick. Everything just seems cold, and then all of a sudden you'll grab something and it's red hot. These belts were running really warm because they were so worn last time we were using it. Even though they were in a lot better shape than they are now, they were just slipping enough that the pulley got pretty hot. So it's time to replace them. This thing isn't hooked up yet, so just touching all the bearings and make sure that nothing is the least bit warm. And after we run this out in the field for a little bit, we'll keep stopping and checking to make sure nothing's hot. All these parts in here, they will get all shined up from working from the barley and stuff. And they'll be shiny as a new penny within a couple of rounds. All the rust will get knocked off. But seems like it wants to go round and round. Just touching everything, making sure nothing's hot. My main drive chain is a little bit tight, so I gotta loosen it off before I start it up again. Yeah, I'll just keep going down here and make sure nothing's out of skookum. Getting ready to put these belts on. I had new belts when I came to the farm back in the late 80s. So it's probably going to be fun trying to pull these bearings. So I'm not going to pull the bearings unless I have to. I think I can just loosen the retainers and move everything over just far enough to get the belts on the shaft across there. That's kind of how the shafts connect there. That should come off pretty good. And yeah, I don't think we want to pull those bearings unless we have to. That looks like the easiest way to do it. Well, I'm gonna see if that'll come over far enough to get a... Oh, I think we can get a belt through that other side there. Give it a try. Yeah, I can take those belts, and I've got room now. I think I can just thread them through this hole by this bearing retainer without having to pull all these bearings and pulleys and stuff off, because that won't be a fun job. Well, they came off. Those are the old ones. And here's the new ones. Two of them are just curled up there. Let's stick this thing back together now. I got everything turning and the new parts on it. I guess I need one more of those rubber things to go on the fingers. But, everything seems to be turning. We've got new hose. We got new belts there. And yeah, I guess we'll have to run it for a bit and see what falls off and fix that, and then it'll probably work for a while. That's usually how this goes. So yeah, that's the straight header.